Today we are going to discuss about the sources of Mauryan history. From where we get so much information about the Mauryan period. That is what is the topic of our discussion. Well, we are talking about a period of which we have different types of literary sources available to us, which gives lots of information about that period. There are several records of travelers who came during that period, who visited during that period in the regions which were dominated or controlled by the Mauryans. Many books were written, very famous books like Arthashastra, which was written by Kautilya, whom we popularly know as Chanakya, who is also considered as the architect of the Mauryan Empire, under whose guidance Chandragupta Maurya was able to get the throne of Magad. Besides Mudra Rakshasa, which is also a very important literary work of that time, Indica, which was written by Megasthenes, who was a Greek ambassador who stayed in India for a long time as a representative of Seleucus in India after the marriage of the daughter of Seleucus with Chandragupta Maurya. So we have different sources, we have different literary sources besides other sources like rock edicts, inscriptions, coins of that period, gives a lot of information about that period. One of the most important sources of information about the Mauryan period is the Indica, which was written by Megasthenes. He was a Greek historian who stayed in the court of Chandragupta Maurya as an ambassador of Seleucus. He stayed in Magad between 302 to 298 BC. And the records that he has mentioned in his book Indica gives lots of information about the social, economic, religious, political conditions prevailing in the Mauryan Empire during the period of his stay in India. So that becomes a very important source of information for us. As I told you earlier, the book written by Kautilya or Chanakya, who was the architect of the Mauryan Empire, that is Arthashastra, and was also the Prime Minister of Chandragupta Maurya, that also is a big source of information regarding the Mauryan administration and political system. Besides, a historical drama which was written by Vishakha Dutt in the 5th century BC and which is famous as Mudra Rakshasa gives information about the social, economic life of the time, and also it deals with how the Nanda dynasty was destroyed, how it came to an end by the efforts of Chandragupta Maurya under the guidance of Chanakya, and ultimately Chandragupta Maurya became the ruler of the Magad kingdom. That is depicted in that drama. So it is another source of information about the Mauryan period. Besides, the Mauryan period was also a period when different other religious traditions like Jain and Buddhist traditions developed, and the literary works of these religions, Jain and Buddhist, are also a big source of information about the Mauryan period. For example, the Jain text Sutra, Kalp Sutra, which was written by Acharya Bhadra Bahu, one of the biggest saints of the Jain religion. Prasistha Parvan, which was written by Hemchandra. These are very important sources of Jain literature, which gives information about the conditions prevailing during that period of time. Several Buddhist texts like Dignikaya, Deep Vamsha, Mahavamsha, Mahabodhi Vamsha, Divya Vandana, and many other Buddhist literary works give sufficient information regarding the Mauryan period. We all know that Ashoka adopted the Buddhist religion, and he became one of the biggest promoter and propagator of the Buddhist religion. So a lot of information we get about that time from the Buddhist literature. Besides, you have also studied that Chandragupta Maurya adopted the Jain religion towards the end of his life and became an ascetic and went to Shravanabelagola, where he died in a manner in which the monks used to renounce their life. So we get a lot of informations about these rulers from the Jain literary works. Besides, the Purans are another source of information for us about the Mauryan period, which provide valuable information about this period. One of the most important source of information for us about this period is the inscriptions which have been engraved on rocks, caves, and pillars. We get information about Chandragupta Maurya from the Junagadh inscription. Besides, regarding Ashoka, there are several rock and pillar edicts which give information about him. So that also becomes a very important source of information of the Mauryan period.